the changes that we've all experienced in the last 20 months, really, I think COVID-19 has been one of the biggest drivers of digital transformation everywhere in the world, because things that we could do face-to-face via those relationship managers aren't really possible in the same way. And therefore, we've heard from some of our clients that they achieved more in 6 months since COVID-19 than they were able to for years before. So that's kind of one of the I think the drivers. But actually, from my perspective, it's something else. It's the fact that it's the clients, those organizations that corporate banks serve, that have changed very, very drastically. As you can see on the next slide, many corporate banks, for the reasons of the economy and the low interest model, they have had their profitability impacted badly. And so they're very focused on cost savings, but actually their clients are very much focused on something else. So this comes from Forrester's Analytics, our annual survey of business and technology leaders' priorities. So from 2021, and we've surveyed CFOs in this instance to ask which of the following initiatives are likely to be their organization's top business priority over the next 12 months. So I've just picked here top 6 of a high plus critical priority. As you can see here, is actually growing revenue that is top of mind for the CFOs out there, followed by improving products and services, improving the experience of customers, increasing influence and brand reach in the market, employee development, and only then at the bottom of that top 6 list is cost reduction. So corporate clients are actually looking for partners to help them reach some of those priorities. So they're asking corporate banks, okay, how will you help me grow my revenue and improve the experience of our customers? Those customers might be B2B customers who have payments, B2B payments, and therefore, corporate banks cannot only rely on offering like the cheapest, best value products and focused on cost savings. They really need to become partners on the innovation and growth journey of their clients. And as you can see on the next slide, it's also about the internal environments of those corporate clients that are changing. So enterprises are modernizing their own app landscapes. So when we've asked those same CFOs which of the following technology initiatives their IT organization is prioritizing over the next 12 months, I've put here top 5 for you. You can see increasing security and privacy capabilities is number 1, and it often is. Of course, partly because of GDPR, improving the use of data analytics technology. Obviously, all these firms during the COVID-19 uncertainty want better data. They want to make better, faster decisions grounded in data. But then after that, we've got increased the use of cloud, redeployment of existing IT infrastructure, upgrade, replace, or consolidate our legacy business applications. So they are all very much modernizing their environments. And with that, all those ERP systems that connect to corporate banking solutions. As you can see on the next slide, it really is that finance and ERP, all of those kind of core operation solutions that different sort of corporations across industry are running their business on, where they're implementing cloud solutions. When we ask which of the following types of applications has your team developed in or deployed to a cloud environment in the past 12 months, you can see that enterprise resource planning software, things like finance, revenue management, operations, and sales is the number 1 that is being deployed into the cloud, followed by human resource management software and finance and accounting software. So that does mean, of course, that all of those corporate clients that banks are serving are actually modernizing fairly quickly and will be expecting a similar type of sort of technology prowess from the corporate banking providers. So I think those are some of the key drivers that we're observing. It's actually the clients of corporate banks that are demanding better solutions. So if we now move to some of the leaders that I've mentioned to you at the beginning of my presentation, I mentioned that there are actually some banks out there that are moving there. I think they excel at four things. So those four things to me really mark what makes a digital business. So number one is digital experience, delivering experiences that are easy, effective, and emotional. Number two is digital operations. So that's reconceiving products and capabilities to deliver better outcomes. So this is actually implementing technology in your operations because of particularly in the area like corporate banking, experience and operations are very, very tightly interlinked. So you can't do one without the other. Number three is digital ecosystems, building platforms and partnerships to accelerate and scaling. So this is linking to all those ERP systems, creating ecosystems of applications so that banks can actually become almost like the back office of their clients. And lastly, digital innovation is all about adopting a new way of working with startups, working with tech providers in order to improve and innovate continuously and in a much faster way than we are used from the past. If I think about how these now four things translate into actual capabilities that firms need to build, there is a whole list here that I've put together, and some of them range from must have because they are table stakes. A majority of banks or some of the very strong leaders already offer this, and therefore banks should take leaf from that playbook and start offering it too. To something that maybe should be on your digital roadmap, but maybe it's not as vital today. You have a list of sort of must-have features, including account aggregation in order for corporate clients to see all their accounts across all their banks. Many will have many banking relationships. Dashboarding and reporting, which helps corporate clients manage their finances. Digital vaults and e-documents, so they can sign all of these documents remotely, but also view them remotely and store them securely. E-signatures, I've mentioned, remote signatures, but also digital banking platforms that offer extensive functionality for firms, different personas within the firms to manage their finances. On its sort of 3 to 6 months, we've got secure chat and video. This has become much more important during COVID, where obviously face-to-face meetings were somewhat restricted, but also virtual account management. And then beyond that, we also have analytics and forecasting. This is not must-have today, but very, very important and should be on your digital roadmap because it allows your clients to really look forward, forecast their cash flow and use that as a basis for a host of financial products that are offered in the moment. User management, so different users can access different type of functionality tailored to them specifically. And lastly, on the 2 to 3 year horizon, we've got biometric authentication, which helps companies really sort of secure access to their products. So those are kind of the must-have versus what should be on your roadmap over the 12, 18, or 3 year horizon. So I'll give you a couple of different examples of who is already doing this. So one bank that I've brought here to demonstrate is DBS. DBS is based out of Singapore and has really been a leader in revolutionizing some of their corporate banking services. So you can see here a host of different things that they've been introducing over the last couple of years to improve that overall experience of their clients. So things like seamless security with DBS digital token that allows people to log in securely, things that host-to-host connections, e-reports. I mentioned those sort of e-documents, but also API-driven solutions, which I'll show you in a second. And very, very extensive mobile banking functionality, as well as sort of e-advice. So there is really a lot of different solutions that DBS has brought. Another example from DBS is their digital vault and e-documents capability. So you can see here that, for instance, for trade finance applications, they have also really improved their document upload feature. I think this is kind of an intermediate step. I'm hoping that in the long term, this will not be just about digitizing documents, but actually changing trade finance accounts all together. So it's much more digitized end to end, as opposed to just digitizing the documents themselves. But in the meantime, I think that's that upload feature helps go around some of these multiple paper-based documents still. And lastly, from DBS is their sort of API portal called Rapid. So they've built an API product suite on cloud-based architecture to really drive the development of innovative solutions. So as you can see on this slide, we've got a number of APIs focused on sort of the information reporting aspect of corporate banking, all the way through transactional features and workflow. So whether that's actually foreign currency booking or direct collection, all of these capabilities are basically enabled via APIs so that corporate clients can choose how they want to consume them and want to innovate. So that's kind of the story of DBS, really a strong focus on innovation through some of the APIs and sort of digital capabilities. Another example that I want to bring to you, which is closer to home, is BNP Paribas, obviously a French bank with global reach. And BNP Paribas also has been very much focused on driving digital innovation in their corporate banking platform. So they've launched this centric digital banking platform that gives all the corporate clients really a very, very full spectrum of functionality that allows them to manage their business. So as you can see here, we've got things like research, but also supply chain solutions, trade finance, foreign exchange, reporting, trade history, depositing. So really a fairly extensive range of functionalities that you can see available on the next slide. And basically, I think in terms of where we are right now, one last example that I wanted to discuss was BNP Paribas' partnership with Cantox. Because I think BNP Paribas is quite a good example of a bank that understands that they can't build everything themselves. So I mentioned that digital ecosystems and digital innovation was one of those areas where we see a huge opportunity for banks to change themselves. So BNP Paribas partnered with a fintech that is a specialist in foreign currency management in order to offer some of these solutions to their clients. And I think there's a nice quote here from Krishma Sampath, head of liquidity advisory in Asia Pacific, BNP Paribas, who says, banks must first understand what corporate clients want in order to create, in collaboration with fintech firms where necessary, innovative solutions that not only address key customer pain points, but also benefit the banks themselves. So that's for me like this kind of quintessential difference in terms of attitudes and what you're trying to achieve. So these two examples, DBS and BNP Paribas, I hope will inspire you, and I think are a nice segue to the rest of this presentation. So thank you very much for the opportunity to share some of this research.